An early vid titled 10 Facts About Myself. He admits some crazy stuff, like how has scoliosis, or how he's peed on a mall Easter bunny lap. But one fact that has stood out on why he says a lot of crazy stuff is that he said his imagination is crazy.
Listen, I am not racist at all. I just say that word because I want to. Joke's on you, I'm actually a nice guy in real life. I want a Latina chick so badly, man. I am not joking. I need one. I need one.
MarioLord14 is one of those TikTok personalities who truly believe the internet is his personal stage, and the audience should sit back and enjoy the bizarre, disturbing performance. The man somehow manages to be both cringeworthy and confusing in equal measure. You'd think a guy who's so committed to humor would know the difference between a joke and something that just crosses the line into gross territory. But here we are.
Guess number one, my imagination is crazy.
I'm extremely upset right now. Some piece of shit in my Discord server leaked my phone number. If you see my phone number, don't call me.
Mario, like some TikTok legends, don't shy away from stirring up trouble, from claiming to be a nice guy despite his very questionable content, to ranting about his so-called beefs with other internet personalities. This guy thrives on drama, but here's the real kicker. He's also known for some seriously messed up content, including videos that make you wonder how he hasn't been banned yet.
But here is a video of him making out with his dog. Pretty gross, and now...
But like everything on the internet, it's all a spectacle, and Mario is making sure we don't miss a second of it. Buckle up, because it's about to get weird, and not in a good way.
So, in his first actual video, he graduated 8th grade, which he states in the video.
Yeah, since it's summer for us, we could do it every day.
we just graduated 8th grade.
Yeah.
And this makes him about, I'm guessing, 22 years old right now.
This guy's entire TikTok is an emotional roller coaster, but instead of thrilling loops and sharp turns, it's more like a trip to a dark corner of the internet that you never asked to visit. His content? Well, it's not exactly what you call family-friendly, unless your idea of family time involves awkwardly watching someone fail to understand the concept of humor. From making crude jokes to discussing his weird obsession with Latinas in the most cringy way possible, Mario seems to live in a reality where no filter exists. But hey, maybe that's part of the charm for some people. To others, it's a train wreck of a persona that's hard to look away from.
No one tell me that men just don't get told nice things?
Isn't it obvious? Because no one cares at all. Anytime we say we have weakness, people just say grow up or be a man. You know how that makes us feel? It makes us feel like we can't speak up or can't say anything because we're just gonna get bullied and not noticed.
Mario's quirky personality is built on contradictions. One moment he's claiming that he's actually a nice guy in real life, as though that magically erases his disgusting actions. And then the next he's joking about things like animal abuse. Yeah, you heard that right. When he's not making disturbing content, Mario spends his time bickering with internet personalities, like Toxic Red and Nova, or obsessing over the tiniest details in their lives. You'd think this kind of behavior would be a turnoff for most people, but somehow it fuels his popularity. There's a sad truth in all of this. The more cringeworthy the behavior, the more attention it gets, and Mario is certainly aware of this fact.
Girls always say that their lives are harder. Well, listen here. Our lives are also hard too. Don't completely forget about the people that pretty much make the world. We go through shit too. Not just you. We're pretty much the reason why the unalive rate is high.
Take the infamous dog kissing incident. It's so bad that you almost wonder if it was staged for shock value. But even that wouldn't justify the sheer grossness of it. And yet, here we are, talking about it. Why? Because Mario's fans love it. His TikTok following eats it up, giving him the platform to do whatever he wants without consequences. In a twisted way, this gives him the power to dictate the narrative on his own terms. He's built his entire brand on being unpredictable, obnoxious, and yes, incredibly inappropriate.
We're cool in Discord server or not, don't fucking call me. I'm actually extremely fucking pissed off. I'm pretty sure they're on here, right? And I'm not letting you back in if you're fucking on here. Like, seriously, no, I'm not letting you fucking back in here. Fuck you.
The funny part, or maybe the sad part, is how Mario tries to justify his behavior. He wants you to think it's all just satire, a big joke that you're too slow to catch on to. Yeah, right. His actions speak louder than his words, and it's clear that his brand of humor is really just a thin veil for some deeply problematic views. But in the strange world of TikTok, this works. You can make some videos about kissing dogs, ranting about your supposed beef with Nova, and even throw in some sexual innuendos with Bratz dolls, because apparently that's a thing, and still maintain a solid fan base. It's not about the quality of the content, it's about the shock value and the attention it brings.
Sarge Combed.
Alright.
The beauty or ugliness of it all is how Mario has convinced himself that he's somehow better than others. Take his hilarious critique of Nova, for example. Instead of engaging in any form of meaningful conversation or addressing the actual issues, he resorts to petty insults and bizarre claims that makes you wonder if he's even self-aware. Comparing his body to Nova's, calling him out for his lack of fitness, might sound like harmless banter to some, but it's really just another example of Mario's desperate need for validation. It's an exhausting cycle, one that he's clearly fine with perpetuating, as long as it keeps the likes and comments rolling in. MarioLord14 is a chaotic force online, creating drama at every turn. His beef with others, like Toxic Red, is overblown and fueled by exaggerated claims of power and superiority, such as comparing his aura to Brawly's. He often contradicts himself, like when he says he won't talk about Nova but spends 10 minutes ranting about them.
Latinas are my fucking kryptonite, bro. Like, they're so hot. They're so hot, man.
Let's not ignore his obsession with women either, specifically his constant barrage of cringy comments about Latina women. It's almost as if he believes that expressing his undying need for a Latina woman will somehow make him more attractive or relatable. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. It's just awkward and uncomfortable. But again, in Mario's world, this is perfectly fine because in his mind, he's the lovable internet weirdo who's just being ironic. The truth? It's hard to tell where the irony ends and where the real Mario begins. And that's what makes his TikToks so disturbing. His attempts at being edgy backfire, with cringy moments like using inappropriate language. Mario's antics may be annoying to some, but his bizarre charm keeps fans watching. His over-the-top personality makes him an unforgettable, albeit confusing, internet figure.
Like, I want to make fan version. So I could do that. I can imagine, like, imagine Barbie over in the corner crying, and Ken comes up and smacks her in the face or something. And she cries more, and then the other ones keep smacking her until she just dies or something.
No, just keep that in mind, alright?
And of course, no dive into Mario's TikTok would be complete without addressing his constant attempts to drag others into his chaos. From picking fights with other creators to complaining about his phone number being leaked, he never fails to bring drama into the mix. He's like that kid in school who thrives on making everything a spectacle, and unfortunately, a lot of people are watching. For him, it's all about staying relevant, no matter the cost. The more outrageous the behavior, the more people talk about it. And let's be real, Mario is all about the attention. For anyone who's ever stumbled across his content, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This guy somehow manages to create a tornado of chaos every time he steps in front of a camera. Whether he's going on a random rant about someone like Nova, or challenging random internet personalities to battles of wit and strength, Mario has a way of making the most ridiculous things seem like they're part of a master plan. But really, it's just a hot mess wrapped in a shroud of I don't care.
I will literally get on my knees and beg to have one. That's how down bad I am for a Latina. I am not joking.
Let's talk about this legendary beef Mario is so desperate to keep alive. It's always the same story. Mario, full of bravado, challenges people like Toxic Red, or anyone who even remotely disagrees with him, thinking his aura is just too powerful for anyone to handle. In a recent video, Mario had the audacity to claim that his aura is like Brawly's. This is coming from a guy who thinks Super Saiyan Blue Evolved is somehow the peak of all power levels. Spoiler alert, it's not. Meanwhile, his opponent is supposed to be a mere ant in comparison.
Pinche madre. Pinche loca, cabrona, chingao.
It reminds me a lot of Nova and how he protects.
But here's the kicker. This isn't some epic battle of anime proportions. It's just Mario throwing tantrums and trying to prove to himself that he's untouchable. Is anyone buying this? Well, his fans might, but for everyone else, it's just more of the same tired nonsense. Try me, he says. Sure, Mario. But first, let's get real. You're not a legend. You're just really good at making sure everyone knows your name by creating drama where none is needed. Now, one of the more laughable parts of Mario's legendary persona is his relationship with Nova. At one point, he outright says, "I don't want to talk about Nova," and then proceeds to make a 10-minute video doing exactly that. Classic Mario. But the real gem is when he drops his excuses about everything that went wrong. Remember that time he claimed he almost harmed himself because of some drama on Discord? Yeah, that was a moment.
Bruh. Can someone explain to me why Nova looks like he's fucking pregnant? Bro. Like, how are you built bigger than me and you say that you work out? Bruh. You could literally slap your fucking stomach and it will jiggle for 5 years. What do you mean? 2 seconds. 2 seconds! You did to yours literally like this for 5 years. What do you mean? I was gonna request Toxic Red's help, but I don't even need him. Because my aura just keeps building till it's overflowing with power. You've seen the build, Nova. I know you have. The power of the Shingon is way too much for you. You are shivering just looking at this.
Now let's take a step back to Mario's odd obsession with Toxic Red. Seriously, who even are these people? It's like watching cows fight amongst each other, but no one ever really wins. Mario in his infinite wisdom declares that he's not afraid of Toxic Red. No, in fact, he's the one who strikes fear into their heart, and his Super Saiyan Blue Evolved power level. The real question is, who cares? These internet beefs are usually about as relevant as a potato at a fashion show. Now we get to the grand finale of MarioLord14's TikTok antics, the rockstar moment. After all the drama, rants, and blatant attempts to stir up trouble, Mario decides to serenade us with a little performance. I'm not just talking about some grand rock ballad. Nope, Mario belts out a few lines of a song, like he's the next big thing in the rock scene. Let's just say it's a vibe. Not the good kind of vibe, but more like the is this real life kind of vibe. But hey, if Mario wants to live out his rockstar dreams, even if it's just him walking into Walgreens and singing random songs all the way, who are we to stop him? Maybe it's a miracle that he's even attempting to do something remotely healthy, but let's not get carried away.
You think I'm afraid of him? I'm not afraid of Toxic No Sabo Red. He's afraid of me, the MarioLord14, with the stronger aura. My aura is like Broly's. His is like a little tiny ant compared to me. I bet he can only go to Super Saiyan 2, while I'm over here with Super Saiyan Blue Evolved.
Still, Mario insists he's the ultimate alpha, the undisputed king of the internet, and everyone else is just a side character in his quest for relevancy. He's stronger, smarter, and apparently better at pulling off red hair. You might roll your eyes at the absurdity, but let's face it, he's probably convinced himself that it's all true. MarioLord14 is a prime example of someone who thrives on the attention of others, even if it means resorting to cringy, inappropriate content. His TikTok is a bizarre blend of bad jokes, questionable satire, and disturbing behavior, but somehow it works for him. He's managed to create a persona so obnoxious that it attracts both supporters and critics alike, which is exactly what he wants, whether it's making out with a dog or making inappropriate comments about his ethnicity. Mario seems to believe that shock value is the key to internet fame. And for now, it's working. But as we've seen time and time again on the internet, fame built on cringy behavior has a way of fading quickly, especially when the line between satire and actual offense gets harder to see.